I got a phenomenal couple, the Young Bloods. They have a powerful, come on. They have a powerful story. I just want to, let them tell it because it's super fantastic, some of the amazing stuff they're doing.
All right. Hey, happy first day of summer. Okay, so basically we came to Chris's 2-day in January, and we actually went to Dell's 2-day in November, but it was so much information, we were like, So we went to Chris's 2-day, and by the end of the weekend, we were sold. So I made him pull out the checkbook, and we joined. And ever since, I just was looking, and I started looking, in Waco. And I found a couple of houses I was looking at, and I called Danny, and I'm like, hey, would this be a good deal? And from there, we found the one house that we're looking at right now, or that we're about finished with on the rehab, and it's just kind of been gangbusters since then.
So you go to So basically, why did you join Lifestyle? Tell us a little bit about that.
So, as it said on the previous slide, I'm a general manager, work for the corporate world like Chris does, a lot of pressure to perform from stockholders, board members, that type of stuff. And I count on a lot of people to be successful. I manage about 50 people at my business. And I have people out on the road all day. I have people at job sites all day. So I lose a lot of sleep, thinking about what these people are doing constantly. And so I've been listening to Dale for years on the radio, and I heard that he was doing a 2-day in November. Decided, hey, we're going to take the leap, at least go to the 2-day. And then, like Rene said, there's a lot of information. We had to digest that. I'm the type B personality. She's the type A. I have to let everything soak in. I have to put it on spreadsheets. I have to calculate it. And so we came in January, listened to Chris, and our mind was made up before the end of the weekend. We signed up as a preferred investor group. We're going to present our first house tonight. We've already purchased and started rehabbing our second house, and we're already involved in one passive deal, and we're going to be involved in a second passive deal, hopefully by the end of this month.
And so
very excited about that.
So what's cool about it is you look at a couple like this, and you compare yourself like, man, it's not really anything special. Why can't I do it? And you guys jumped in, and you're already like, for us like doing so on your second deal. But let's go a little bit deeper because I want to unpack this.
Yep. So the reason we did this is to buy back our time. I particularly want to retire from my W-2. Rene, you may remember this, Chris. Rene loves her job. She's got a pension. Remember that. But we don't want to rely on other people to be successful. We want to rely on ourselves, and this is a very good opportunity. So if we want to flip the slide,
let's look at the property.
We'll look at it. So this is on Paul Quinn Street in Waco, and you can see on the left side, this house was in disarray. It needed some help, and this is where I learned about shiplap. If you haven't heard the term shiplap before, there's plenty of shiplap in this house.
How can you be in Waco and not have heard that?
Yeah, I know.
That's like Joanna Gaines, coined term, right?
Exactly. I guess I just missed that. So, but a lot of rehab needed to be done. This was probably a little bit larger rehab than they recommend for your first investment, but it was a good deal. We couldn't pass it up. And you'll see that in the numbers. We have a good general contractor. He's good to work with, and he's really making it look nice. The property is almost finished. We've already started to advertise it for renters. We've already got some interest in renters. We haven't rented it yet, but I think within a couple of showings, we're going to have this thing rented and ready to go and cash flowing. So very excited about that. Hopefully by the time we get this one rented, our other one will be ready and we'll get it up rented and cash flowing also.
But the interesting part, before we go to the numbers, because the numbers are really going to blow your mind, but the interesting part was the process to get into this one that you were telling me about.
Yes. So I was dealing with Danny, and I'm like, okay, we gave our earnest money down, and next thing you know, we find out that there's a renter that's still in the home, and we didn't know how much they were paying, but we know it wasn't market value, considering the shape of the house is in. So we were under the impression at first that they were going to try to get the renters out before we closed. Come to find out, when we went to go sign, they're like, oh, yeah, and by the way, y'all can kick them out if you don't want them as a renter. And I'm like, no, I'm not taking on my first house with a renter and losing money immediately. So we backed out of the deal, and next thing you know, Danny calls me and he's like, hey, the people that were going to buy that house backed out last minute, and they want to sell this house quick. And we jumped on it, and we got our second chance, and here we are now.
Yeah, we actually closed on this one within a week of them notifying is available. We had to close that week, so we had to move really quickly on that one.
But see, he's got y'all food. I'm gonna go ahead and tell on him. Now, can I?
Go ahead.
I got you up here now. You did too late.
That's all good now.
So the key thing about it is, what was funny to me was, so they backed out. The original company backed out, and then they were gonna do it. But he doesn't tell you that. You think he's all like cool, calm, and collected. They don't tell you about the call, that they, distress calls they have to make to the mentor. Come on, tell us about that.
Yeah, so, okay. He let the cat.
You got the people thinking.
Out of the bag
You got the people thinking that, yeah, we backed out. Yeah, we came back with it all. We got it. No.
So Adrian had to talk me off the ledge a couple of times. These things, in my position and how I work, things have to be done yesterday. And so you have to be patient with some of these things and allow them to develop. And if things don't always go the right way, they're going to work themselves out in the end. And so Adrian had to tell me, he told me to look at the big picture, be calm about it and let things progress. And so I did, and we ended up with the house. Thank you.
Well,
Adrian.
and that's the key thing about having mentors. Somebody on your team that can, been through the process. And basically, we deal with it all the time, because we understand this is your first time doing something. And it's always scary doing, your first time doing something. But I'm telling you, as a part of this team, a part of this group, Chris will tell you he was a mentor at one time, but he'll tell you that we're here. We're going to do our best to help you be successful. Do you feel that way?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Any questions that you have, if it comes up with termite treatments, oh, that sounds so expensive, send an email, and they'll tell you, well, no, that's about the going rate. And you're like, oh, okay.
And so now I wanted to say all that because this next slide is going to blow your mind. All right, now these are the numbers. And so aren't you thankful that the person that backed out the deal, right, gave you another opportunity?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it also gave an opportunity because they lowered the price. I think our original asking price was
68.
68.
10
Yeah,
more.
and they knocked off $10,000. So we definitely got lucky there.
Well, the reason they knocked off $10,000 more is because they said, well, we're keeping the other person's earnest money, so we'll sell it to you for this.
Well,
We'll
hey,
take it.
So, but the numbers, look at the numbers. Let's talk about them. Let's break it down. So after repair value, meaning what it is worth after it's fixed up, is $185. Purchase price was $58,000.
Yeah, the Californians don't believe that, do they?
Yeah, they don't believe it.
No.
And so that's what I'm telling you. Waco, hey, we need to check out that market. Rehab, and I know some people get scared by this number, but $86,000. And honestly, like I say, you got the mentor team with you, helping you. So we'll work you through it. Other costs about $2,000, a little over $2,000. Now the equity capture, $37,900. Basically, that if you look at return on equity capture percentage, that's 324%. So basically, they cash out of pocket a whopping $11,685. So basically, that's 324% of the actual equity capture. Anybody excited? Okay, there's more. There's more. And so cash flow, they're expecting to return about 455, and that's real huge because most of you guys have been working with us. In this market, we have huge equity capture, so that's normal. But the actual cash flow is a little bit lower in this market. So to have 455 predicted cash flow, that's huge. So that'll be a cash on cash return, 46.7%. So give them a hand on this deal.
No, I think we're good on this slide.
I will say this about this slide. So if you come to the 2-day this weekend, you'll get to learn all of this and how it works. You know, Chris did a fine job when we learned all about all this in January. So thank you, Chris. We appreciate it.
I told you it was the time to buy.
Absolutely.
I told you cash out of pocket was low, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And did it happen?
Absolutely.
Are they
happened,
broken
yes.
going forward, though? They're broken.
Well,
Not yet.
You didn't even talk about, we don't even have time to really talk about the second deal.
Yeah, the second deal, the numbers are maybe a little bit lower, but very, very similar.
Very similar.
to these.
Yes.
So a little bit lower, like only 200%?
Probably. And that cash out of pocket was about 16 on this one.
See, she's broken. They're broken.
So-
They're broken.
So that's the crazy thing about it. And I'm like, you guys just joined. And to have that, kind of success, I mean, you got to get excited. I mean, if you guys are sitting out there, I'm telling you, 2017, it was me. 14, it was you, right?
2011.
2011, it was you. And so I'm like, if you look at some of the people around you, they have their story that they can tell you. So if you're on the fence, I'm telling you, this is the perfect time, to take action.
Yeah, you got to light that fire and just let it burn.
Yeah, I will say there's a lot of nervous excitement, but you have these guys to help you get through it. So
I bet he matched your excitement.
he did.
Yes.
It maybe overcame it a
Very
little
much so.
All right, tell us a little bit how your life changed.
Well, it's really busy now, which is a good thing. We're working on things for the future. We're very excited about the opportunity to become financially free, quit the W-2 job, and then, of course, looking beyond, is the picture there. You see my daughter, Brooklyn, and she's going to UTA right now. She's going to be a nurse. She's just starting the nursing program this fall. And we've already talked to her about this. Probably start bringing her to some events. And she definitely wants to finish the nursing. She's excited about this, but she's like, Dad, I've already kind of started this. I'm going to finish it. And I said, you're absolutely going to finish it. But, she's excited. We talked to her about some passive deals. She's been saving her money. As soon as she can become a member and get into some of these passive deals, she wants to do it. So she's excited about it. So it's going to be the legacy that we create for our children. We also have a son. And, we want to be able to leave them something meaningful. When Rene and I leave this earth, they'll be able to continue on and pass it to their family.
Tax free.
Tax free.
And here's the thing. It's so funny. I hear this all the time. Leave a legacy. Being able to leave, something to your daughter and son. Like, how awesome is that? If you could, be able to leave something to your children, and for them, and we have members that, bring their children in, and they teach them the ropes, and over time they get invested. We have case studies on that all the time. So this is a perfect opportunity for not only for your experience and your financial freedom, but to also show your kids that legacy also. All right, next. Short term, real quick. Yeah.
All right, so of course the first house is going to be complete, he said, on Saturday, so that's good. And the second home, it's probably got another month and a half, 2 months probably on the rehab for that one. So once, I think we're going to kind of step back on the single family for a minute and focus on multifamilies. And you got anything for that?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
They're making decisions on stage. Come on, guys.
No, like I said, we've got the one deal that we're already in, and then the next one that's going to hopefully come through. But
I will say this. I didn't know exactly what my plan was when I started this. But as I get further and further into it, things are becoming more and more clear to me. Being that I'm a spreadsheet guy, now I'm calculating what it's going to take for me to have enough income so that I can retire from my W-2. And I've put multiple passive deals and multiple houses down and certain scenarios. What do I need to do to take it to the next level? And so now I'm planning that. We didn't know exactly what our goals were with each investment when we first started. We knew what the expectations were, but we didn't know what they were personally for us until we actually started doing them. And now everything's kind of clearing up, and it's making more and more sense to us every day. And so we have a better plan every day. And that's what we plan to do, is continue investing, continue working the program. We're not going to change anything about it. It works just like it is. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's already done for us. All we got to do is follow the program. And so that's what we're going to do.
But what would you say? You've kind of already alluded to it and kind of really spoke on it. But what would you say to people like really sitting out there, really like in the balance of trying to decide, should I do this? What would you say to them?
It'll change your life. I mean, you will see it happening in front of your eyes once you're in there looking at it. When they're teaching the course, the numbers make sense. Everything makes sense on it, and you just have to open yourself up to it and just give in. I mean, just give in.
So I'll say this. There's a certain level of patience that you have to have, but don't be idle. You have to be active. You have to do the work. You can't expect someone else to do the work. One of the first things that Rene did after we finished the 2 days, she mastered HAR and she mastered Quest, and she started the quest of finding the property, and she was on it, and we wore Danny out. I'm probably calling him multiple times a day. Hey, what about this property? Is this property available? So we really appreciate Danny and everything he did for us as well.
And so, here's the thing that just makes my heart, like seriously, so joyful. I think about you a few months ago, how much you have grown from then to now. And so it's just so exciting when I watch you guys grow. And I'm just so proud of you guys, man. I really give you a hand clap.
Thank you. Thank you.
So proud of you guys. We can give shout outs real quick. Let's and take a few questions. So shout out, like you guys, it's three of us, me, Nicole, and Brandon. And so normally what you do is when you send the email or whatever, whoever get to you first. So you work with all of us. I know people say, oh, I want this person. No, you get us. I'm telling you, you get us all. And so they've had a chance to work with pretty much all of us. We already gave Danny a shout out. What Danny at?
Thank you, Danny.
Oh, you snuck to the back. Okay. And so you had an experience with Catalyst in the house. There we go, back in the back. All right, and Greenworks is here. I know. Yeah, I thought I saw you earlier. He's in the back. So we have vendors, like I say, that works in the market. We got other people that they reached out to and had on their team also. But we have the vendors in the house too. So you want to take some questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take questions.
Anybody got some questions? So,
I'm really curious about their chimney with a hole in it. Is that a stove?
The chimney with the hole. Remember
Yes. It was some kind of support mechanism to hold the roof up. It's something that they do in those really, really old houses.
It was not a chimney. It was in a
It was
closet.
not a chimney.
And now they've.
It no longer exists.
Yes, it was a closet.
It was in a closet. We were curious about that also.
How are you guys marketing y'all's first rental for tenants?
So right now we're using Zillow, and when you sign up for Zillow, it'll market it on multiple sites. And so we looked at multiple things. There's multiple ways to market it, but that's what we found, and we were comfortable with it, so we started using that.
It's a one-stop shop because you can do everything there.
I'm sure we're going to learn about this on the 2-day course, but where does the $86,000 come out of it? Do you get another loan on top of that?
I'm going to take this one if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
We use a process called hard money. So we had Paul Starnes up here. Remember, he said, I got a picture of my card up here. It's over there. I'm honest. That guy, his name was Paul. He provides hard money. So they're going to give you 75 to 80% of the after repair value, which was $185,000. So if you take 75% times 185, that's how much the bank's going to bring in. And then the full amount of that project is probably 80%. So they had to cover the gap between 75 and 80, which was 11 grand. Okay? So they bought it for 58, had 86 into it. All they had to bring was 11 because the bank brought the rest, which included the rehab. Okay? Now, if it doesn't make sense because I just spewed numbers at you, that's okay. Come to the class. We'll do math on the board. We do a lot of math, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Yep. It'll stick eventually. Okay? When it really sticks is when you do the process, though.
Right, absolutely.
Did you believe me when I was teaching it?
I believe
I did,
it.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, he probably built a spreadsheet.
I did.
Yeah. It works. It works.
Okay, are you going to run that property, or are you going to get a manager?
We're gonna run it ourselves. We're gonna manage it ourselves.
Because you have everything rehabbed from the bottom to the top, you don't have to really worry about managing it. It manages itself because everything's new. Yeah, there's going to be some things that come up, but we'll probably just call our contractor down there and say, hey, there was a problem with this or that. Can you take care of it? And that's about it.
That was a great question. I want to take it a step further. I self-manage my portfolio. They're all in San Antonio. And it's the same concept. Everything's fixed up. Everything's new. What are they going to call about? So should I pay a property manager $100, $200 a month? Or can I take one phone call a year, maybe? What could you do with an extra $200 a month that you're not paying them? Right? Great question. Last one right here with Steve, and then we'll check online. We got one online too.
Who is your contractor in Waco?
His name is Manny.
He's not a vendor, so we won't go
Right.
too much in it, but
You can
but
pin
we
him
do-
down later and beat him up and see if you can get his phone number if you want. Yeah. All right, we got one online?
Yes, we do. Kristen's asking who did you use for insurance on the property?
Do you remember who the insurance is?
SPU, is that right? I can't remember the name.
Are you asking us?
they're not a vendor. I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think they're a
Somebody
vendor.
else.
Yeah.
Somebody
And-
off Facebook, probably.
And then how it was such a large rehab. How long did it take to complete the rehab?
It's about a 3-month process.
All right.
I think July 1st is going to be like right at the 3-mark time.
He's going to cut it just under 3 months, but it's about a 3-month process.
Good deal. All right, we'll take one last one. That's it. I promise that's it.
Just real quick.
No, just repeat it.
Since you said 3 months, did you use a bridge to go from the hard money to the conventional?
No.
He's asking about finance. He asked if there was a bridge loan. It's just a hard money loan. So it's one loan, and it includes the rehab chunk. Okay, that
We're in the
$86,000.
process of refinancing to a conventional, but this was such a quick buy, we didn't have time for any of the bridge stuff. So.
You're a pig, right? Have you taken the 2-day? Yes. Who'd you take it from? Dave. Dave? Ah, Dave. That Dave?
45 days, I didn't know if I heard that one guy talk about the bridge to the conventional.
Oh, so Catalyst, it was Catalyst, I think, that has the bridge, right? So you only do one appraisal. Most of these have 2 appraisals. We're getting in the weeds here, bro. Come back on Saturday. Saturday we talk single family, okay? The bulk of Saturday is single family. So come back. We'll go over that process. If you need a refresher, okay, just come after lunch, okay? Cool. All right, I have one last question. You already answered it. What would you tell the new folks in the room that are online, that are sitting on the fence saying, is it real?
Get off the fence and do it.
Just do it.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
you guys
you.
have been awesome.